and welcome back. So for today's video, I have a first impressions review, demo, and 8-hour wear test on a brand new drugstore powder foundation. This is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Powder Foundation. It retails for $11.99. And I have the shade Porcelain 110, which I swatched out in my hand. Hopefully you can see it. As soon as I saw they were coming out with this, I was really eager to try it. I don't really ever wear powder foundations. I just tend to gravitate more towards the liquid foundations, but I thought this could be a really exciting one to actually test out because it's supposed to be a full coverage powder foundation. Like, it just sounds so interesting if it actually works. And just really quickly, I'm going to give you guys some of the details about it. I'm on their website right now. So first off, I do have to say the shade range is very disappointing. There's only 12 shades. So I honestly was thinking they were going to come out with a lot more. I thought they had more for their Superstay foundation. I'm actually going to check. Yeah, so I just checked. The liquid foundation has 28 shades, so I'm kind of wondering why didn't they create the powder in the exact same 28 shades and launch that? Just so disappointing. They really need to think about the shade range more. I mean, come on. People are coming out with 50 to 60 shades now. You gotta step it up, Maybelline. More details is that, of course, it is a full coverage powder makeup. It's matte finish with long-lasting 16-hour wear. Holy crap. Coverage of a liquid foundation with the finish of a powder. I'm intrigued. It also says that you can wear this powder alone or wear it on top of a liquid foundation. So I do like that they say that you can wear this on its own. That is what I'm going to be doing today, because of course on their website it says it's recommended to use with the Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. Of course you can probably use any, but this is probably the one that you think of. I don't like this foundation. I'm the only one on this planet that doesn't like this foundation. It just does not work for me. So many people rave about it and they love it and it just looks so beautiful, but for me, I have very oily skin. I say it every single time. And this does not hold up. It also just looks so cakey on the skin. I've never been able to make it work. I tested it for like an entire month straight and I was just like, yeah, I can't do it with this foundation. So I wouldn't be putting this foundation underneath and then putting this powder on top because I know I don't like this foundation. So I wouldn't do that to you guys. But I just want to throw that out there in case you're like, why don't you use that foundation underneath and put the powder? That's why. So let's just go ahead and start getting into putting this on the face. Now, I am gonna start prepping the face. So I'm gonna do my usual routine, which I'm gonna take the Porefessional by Benefit. This little sample has lasted me forever. I will be repurchasing it soon as I run out, but I mean, apparently this thing is like a never-ending sample. So I'm just gonna fill in the pores, just really pressing in that primer, just a little bit where I see fit. And then what I've also been enjoying is taking the Rimmel Stay Matte Fix and Go. This is the 2-in-1 primer and setting spray, so I'm gonna use it as primer. Ooh, smells so good. And then I'm gonna do my concealer first because I don't wanna do powder and then a liquid concealer on top. So I'm gonna be taking just a tiny bit of the Tarte Shape Tape, just plopping it right about here. And then taking my damp sponge and just blending that a little bit underneath the eyes just to give a little bit more coverage right under here. I'm not gonna place the concealer anywhere else on the face because on foundation testing days, I mean, you guys know how I like to do. I don't like to apply it all over the face because I feel like it kind of takes away from the initial foundation review. So I just add a little bit extra coverage just right under here. But with the prep work out the way, we can now play with a little bit of the foundation. And I have two different brushes to use. I'm not sure if I should use just a fluffy powder brush or if I should use a foundation brush. I don't know, we'll see. I do have this Wet n Wild powder brush. I'm gonna swirl my brush around in it. This is a new brush that I'm kind of testing out, so we'll see how it does. And just gonna start packing that on the face. I do see some powder right there. It's not as full coverage as I was kind of expecting. Maybe it's too fluffy of a brush. Hold on. Switching gears. Let's try my powder foundation brush. This is the Morphe Y7. I'm just gonna swirl my brush in there, load it up, and then let's try it like this. Oh yeah, that works better. Okay, so the other brush was way too fluffy. You want something a little bit denser to pack this on. And I'm thinking I'm gonna do half my face and then do a little bit of a comparison. See how full coverage this actually is. So I'm just gonna be packing this on. Whoa! That was a lot of coverage on the nose right there. And I am gonna bring it right up to the eyes, just right about here. And I'm gonna set that concealer that I just plopped down right under there. It does also say that this powder foundation does have color matching pigments in it, so it's supposed to give you that perfect foundation shade, which, I mean, I actually think that this is a pretty gosh darn good match. My skin is pretty ghostly white at the moment, and it feels like it's on point. Okay, but here we have it. This entire half of the face is loaded up with the powder foundation. This half is not. And you guys can see I have a lot of redness right now. My skin's really irritated. I have a lot of blemishes. That was the same on this side. You guys saw it before I started applying that powder, especially in this area. And I mean, it looks so good right now. I mean, everything just feels like it's covered. And what's actually incredible about it is it doesn't really look powdery. It looks like it just kind of formed with the skin. I am really happy with this. Hold on, let's do a little close up here so you guys see all this redness. Let's do a little. Whoa, Nelly, I just put it right here. That is some good coverage powder. Man. All right, let me give you guys a close-up. So now I've applied the foundation to both sides, and I actually think it looks really good. There is a lot of coverage from this. All of my redness has just been canceled out. It doesn't look overly powdery, which is so surprising to me because I've tried some powder foundations that just look so like, ugh, your skin is just dying. It's trying to breathe and it can't. There's just so much powder on the face, but it doesn't actually feel that bad. This does leave me very curious though. I want to take a little bit of bronzer and I want to see if the powder starts shifting if you put some bronzer on top. So I'm going to take my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil and I'm going to start bronzing up a little bit around the face because it does say that it's also supposed to be fade and transfer resistant. It's going to control the shine. Oh, I didn't see that on their website, which that can be really good for my oily skin people because this is an oily skin test really. So I'm just bronzing up the cheekbones, a little bit here on the forehead. Nope, still looks really good. The foundation underneath was not moved around. It does look very seamless together, like the bronzer just kind of melted in with this powder. And then I'm thinking I'm just gonna take the teensiest bit of blush just to add a little bit more color. I'm taking the shade Bashful, the L'Oreal Paradise Enchanted blush, just putting a little bit right here in the apples. And then that is actually where I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna put any highlighter on. I'm just gonna leave it with the bronzer and a little bit of blush. I'm gonna really quickly, off camera, finish up the lower lash line, put some lips on, and I'll be right back. All right, now that my makeup is completed, I'm gonna start the wear time, which it is currently 1:37 p.m. So I'm planning to keep this foundation on for 8 hours, and I'm gonna do some check-ins. I'm gonna do one halfway through, give you guys an update, see how the foundation is looking at that point in time, and then I'm gonna give you the final check-in after 8 hours and give you guys my full opinion on it. But I am very excited to see how this foundation is going to be worn throughout the day. Like I mentioned earlier, I do have very oily skin, so we're going to see if this really does control the shine, control the oils, and see if anything just starts to go wrong. Because I mean, right now it looks flawless, but things can change with 8 hours time. So I will see you guys in just a couple of seconds for the first check-in. And it's time for a check-in. It is now 5:56 p.m. So I'm just a little bit overdue for a check-in here. I think I'm like 4 hours and 20 minutes into this foundation wear time. So let me scoot you closer so that way we can investigate this together. Okay, so let me start off with the pros first. So I'm not really noticing any kind of caking going on, and it still surprises me how it doesn't even look like powder. It just looks like it's formed with the skin. It's so nice. But there's a huge con that is developing. So I'm sure you guys can see the shine that is starting to appear on my face. It started around the 3-hour mark. I started noticing a little bit of shine and I was like, ooh, I see you, stop it, don't come through yet. And then as the hours kept going on, it's just started getting more and more oily. So right now it's pretty heavily oily right here around my nose. The chin is starting to get a pretty decent amount of shine, and so is the forehead. So it just seems like hour by hour, I'm just getting oilier and oilier. Which is really surprising because it says it's supposed to control the shine. It's also supposed to be a matte 16-hour wear foundation. So it's not looking so promising right now. I am gonna keep it on though for the last 4 hours, do the final check-in and see how it looks at the end there. You know, hopefully this is as oily as it's gonna get, but you never know what's gonna happen in 4 hours. So I will see you guys in just a few more hours of wearing this and we'll see how it looks. And time for the final check-in. It is now 9:31 p.m. I am 6 minutes early, but I think it's okay because the foundation is not gonna change that much. And I expected this. I don't even think that the lights in here do this justice. It looks awful. Oh my gosh, this foundation. I am so oily throughout my face. I can just feel it. It feels so gross right now. I just want to go and wash this off as soon as I'm done recording. This makeup is coming off. Whoops, forgot to put on more lipstick. Let me fix that. Can't look totally terrible now. Ah, so much better. Which, let me get a little bit closer. I want to show you what's happening. The foundation has broken down entirely on my chin, the nose area. It looks so cakey. I mean, it just looks so horrific right now. I even FaceTimed my mom for a little bit and she was like, what foundation are you wearing? That looks absolutely awful. That's how she said it, and I was like, yep, this foundation, it's done. So if you have a oilier skin type, I have to say this is a 100% pass. This is definitely not even worth it. If you were to go to work, go out for the night, and you forgot about your foundation, and you saw this at the end of the night, I think you would be absolutely horrified. You'd be embarrassed that you were out and about like this all day. Like, I am so happy that I just stayed at home for the last half of this foundation. I had some errands to do in the beginning, and it was still looking okay. It was slightly oily, but it wasn't too bad. If I had to go outside like this, I'd just be like, don't look at me. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this foundation. I'm gonna go wash my face right this second and get this off because it just feels so gross. But hopefully I was able to help you guys out with reviewing this foundation. If you still like the video, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that little bell button. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.